Hello, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems. My name is Matthew, and I'm here to talk about things that mean a lot to me. If you have a problem with me including theys and thems, I have a strong feeling you will not like this video. If you didn't read the title, I'm going to be talking about Donald Trump and how he is a failure. Oh, don't worry, this isn't from the viewpoint of a libtard or even some conservative that still supports him for some reason. You're out there, right? No. This is why Donald Trump is a failure according to himself. We're going to be looking at what Trump has said he would and wouldn't do as Commander-in-Chief and explain why this goes against everything he stands for. This is way more meaningful than me or any other person just ranting for however long about why they dislike the Trump or the presidency, because this is why Donald Trump as a person would be angry and displeased with how he has done. As the old proverb goes, what others think of you is nothing compared to how you perceive yourself. As this video is bound to be attacked by people who still support him, I'm going to include my sources for each main argument I have, so I don't get yelled at for making things up. As if the real world we're living in doesn't seem made up enough already. Without any further ado, let's get into the 6 reasons that Donald Trump, according to himself and what he believes, would consider his presidency a failure. One of the many reasons people voted for Trump is because he's a deal maker. They believe that traditional presidents and politicians weren't getting to what the real American people wanted, and that a successful businessman could. However, putting aside Trump's many bankruptcies, he hasn't done well with deals during his presidency at all. His many travel bans have been blocked by federal court judges several times, and just recently his decision on DACA was ruled against by the courts. Yeah, so much for the great deal maker when he can't even get policies that he's pushed for very hard put into law. Let's look at how Trump handled his own budget plan. The budget mainly focused on raising security, specifically for the border wall that he talked about building since his campaign for presidency began. He made it apparent that he wouldn't take no for an answer on it, but Congress went ahead and made the budget specifically without dedicated funding for the border wall. Yes, now the border wall does have some set-aside funding, but there's no guarantee that it actually is going to be put to use anytime soon. And for the great deal maker to essentially give up as soon as people say no, that's really telling of how much of a deal maker he really is. However, the biggest tell that he is a horrible deal maker is how all 3 branches of the government are under Republican control, yet his major accomplishments are extremely minimal, even for a first-year president. Throughout the campaign trail, Trump claimed that one of the first things he would do as president would be to repeal Obamacare. Not only did this not happen, but the way Trump and the Republicans think they accomplished this is with the tax reform that took place in December. However, the reason why this showcases his failure as president and a deal maker lies in how virtually all Republicans wanted this done. They had talked about getting a better tax reform as soon as they had the presidency, an advantage in the House and Senate, as well as repealing Obamacare, which they claim is an utter mess. But it literally took them until December to get the one thing all of them wanted passed. If everyone in a high school class says they want to go get ice cream, and they have a leader who has built up how great it is going to be when they can all get together to get ice cream, and it takes them 11 months to get the ice cream that they all agreed that they wanted, the leader would not last. Now, obviously, policy that impacts millions of people is different than a group of high schoolers getting ice cream, but hopefully that shows why this is so ridiculous that it took them this long to have a major accomplishment. This wouldn't have to be mentioned, except Donald Trump took time during Obama's presidency. R.I.P. Obama, we miss you, please come back. Oh my god, we miss you so much. Oh my lord, please. Tweeting things like, can you believe that with all the problems and difficulties facing the US, President Obama spent the day playing golf, worse than Carter, October 14, 2014. In addition to saying, I would rarely leave the White House because there's so much work to be done. Trump told The Hill in 2015, I would not be a president who took vacations. I would not be a president that takes time off. And finally, I'm going to be working for you. I'm not going to have time to go play golf. August 2016. Now, am I saying that our president Donald Trump is a liar? Yes. Yes, I am. But this cannot be dismissed when looking at how many times he's taken off in his first year. According to Trump golf count, as of this According to Trump golf count, as of this recording, he has taken 88 golf trips and cost taxpayers at least $46,361,640. Let's quickly put this into perspective. President Barack Obama played 29 rounds of golf during his first 12 months in office, and President George W. Bush golfed 7 times during his first year, according to CBS News. If Trump keeps golfing at this current rate, he will have been playing more than 2.5 times that of Obama and roughly 11 times that of Bush during their first years. That's a lot of golf for a guy who will be too busy working for the American people. Especially when, as we just covered, he's only accomplished one major thing. When Trump came out saying that he would use his political influence to drain the swamp, this excited his base even more. Voters wanted change in politics, and to them, Donald Trump was the answer. However, one man's drain the swamp is another man's build the swamp. Am I right, Donnie? As the Week's Paul Waldman put it, was anyone really surprised when he appointed a bunch of billionaires to his cabinet? Or when he insisted that he didn't have to give up his business interests? The Flagpole more recently claimed Trump said that as a billionaire, he knew how the system was rigged. Once he was in power, Trump did no such thing as drain the swamp. He filled it even deeper by appointing billionaires to his cabinet and putting people in charges of agencies like the EPA who are trying to wreck those departments. All of this from a guy who on the campaign trail talked a big game about ending corruption in Washington, but in reality, he only worsened it. Trump is a known flip-flopper. However, an even bigger issue is with the campaign promises he made and has gotten little success on some, while outright getting nothing on others. Of course, every promise made to get into the mindset of voters should be taken with a grain of salt, but this is what Trump very strongly believes and does want to do. He has all the power and the ability to do it, but still manages to fail. Let's look at PolitiFact's Trumpometer that tracks the progress of his campaign promises and their success, or more accurately, failures. That didn't work out too well, huh, bud? Once again, the business president. He says immediately a lot. Maybe his perception of time is just different or something. Nope. That one is just weird, dude. Ooh, Donald. There are a couple that PolitiFact has outlined that he has kept his promise on, and if you're really interested, I do encourage going to the site and checking for yourself. It's pretty well known that at this point, Trump only really looks out for himself. He will throw anyone under the bus if it means that he does not have to deal with the aftermath. DT gave several endorsements to several Republicans running for some governmental positions, including the sexual assaulter Roy Moore, and then immediately blames them and distances himself from them as far as possible after they lose. This can also be seen in the most recent debacle with Steve Bannon. After building him up for so much and fighting for him in the public view, to disgracing him all over Twitter in a matter of days. Let's not forget his competition for the Republican candidacy, where he would destroy Ted Cruz and Ben Carson, claiming ridiculous things, and then talk only positive as soon as they got behind him. Trump simply has no spine or morals. The only thing he bases his opinion of on people is if they are for or against him, which isn't good when you're the president of the United States for obvious reasons. The president is supposed to bring people together. for the better of the country. Even if you hated Obama, he did his best to bridge both parties and work towards doing what was best for the people. He would make compromises with the other side and didn't dislike somebody or attempt to destroy their career on Twitter based on what they thought of him. We cannot say the same for 45. These are the 6 main reasons that I firmly believe Donald Trump is not proud of his presidency. Not as a liberal college student, but the man himself. At every major aspect that Trump prides himself on, he's failed while being president of the United States. Whether you agree or disagree, Trump knows. No matter what he does in the next 3 years, he will always be seen by history as the president that was a failure to the American people, to the world, and most importantly for him, to himself. Thank you so much for making it through to the end of this video. I cannot thank you enough, really and truly. As mentioned before, I have all of my sources used in this video at the bottom in the form of links. Check them out if you think I'm spouting fake news or anything. And I encourage you to leave a comment explaining how I'm wrong about everything, or if you really truly think Trump believes he's doing a great job, if you think that he's proud of his first year. Or, hey, maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum and enjoy the video. Regardless of what your political affiliation is, feel free to leave a comment and maybe like the video. This is the first YouTube video that I've worked on and edited, and I want to only improve and get better. This was a huge learning experience. Oh my god. It took me so long to do this. But I honestly and truly had a blast doing the research and putting the video together, and want to do more videos in this style in the future. So make sure you subscribe if you like the commentary or the format or for some reason me. Until next time. Unless, DT decides to nuke the world or kicks me out because I'm a little brown. We really don't know at this point, do we?